better Nigeria? Is it a myth or do we keep hoping?
Nigeria is a highly religious country. How come corruption thrives?
Why is adoption not encouraged in Nigeria?
Is there a future for the Nigerian youth?
Being rich and famous, is that the only drive to be an artist?
What makes a great nation? Is it the leaders? What about the people?
This is Answers with Dr. Reju.
Hi, my name is Obi, and this is Answers with Dr. Reju. Glad to be back and glad to have everyone here. Good evening. Thank you guys for coming around. Thank you, Dr. Reju.
Thank you, Obi. Good to have you
Yeah,
back.
and Matthew, nice to have you here.
Thank you, Obi.
And Isaac.
Thank you, Obi.
Always wonderful having this wonderful team right here in the studio. Before we go very far, let me just tell you that you can send a WhatsApp to us on 081 44 56 9000. While we chat, get your questions ready and then chat us up on that number. All right. Let's take a quick recap on what we did last week. We talked about education and we talked about the media and its role in education.
Yeah.
We said that media really has a very potent force in society. And the media really should be about structuring society in such a way that it can get better.
Absolutely.
All right. So we want to continue in that same line of thought. Matthew?
In the same vein, I'll just want to Dr. Reggie to explain more how we think, or he thinks, media has shaped our thought pattern in Nigeria, and how it's generally affecting the way we relate as Nigerians.
Well, if we want to look at media shaping thought patterns, that has really changed in the last 5-10 years with the advent of social media. So everybody now is a media practitioner, so the question now will be who is shaping who, but for us in Nigeria, it's not really been as effective as it has been in other places. We're really making a lot of progress here, but we don't have that kind of foundation where media actually media shapes, but we're looking at shaping now. When we say shape, the connotation there is positive, right? It's positive. Okay. So, but we've not really had very potent, very educative kind of media in Nigeria. I remember, maybe I've said that on this program before, when I got to the north, here in 1997, people still read yesterday's newspapers. Information doesn't go around that quick. And with that kind of a weak foundation, now we now have social media on top of it. So everybody kind of, bring out ideas in the way they like. So there's really no direction. I just see this in just firing aimlessly. The way I actually see that is when I read newspapers online, what I really read are people's comments. I go down to what are people saying about this. You read 2 or 3 comments. Sometimes you see some very ugly things. Somebody is advertising cement, advertising something like that. So Nigerians, we don't have minds that have been properly or positively shaped by the media. Our media, outlets are not educative enough. They just sort of take whatever the government is saying or doing and give it to the public without analysis. And again, if you look at it today, how many people really listen to 7 o'clock news, 7 a.m. news on FRCN? And then how many wait till the end to listen to news analysis? Right? These are practices, these are things that have gone. They are no longer part of us. So I would rather say that we've had untrained, unshaped kind of society practicing social media. So it's all very weightless, rumors, things that are not really shaping society in any intentional way. That's the way I look at it. And that's the reason, by my own judgment, we still have a largely uninformed kind of populace. Maybe I'll give another example. What happened in the course of the week about having a no banking day? That to me is uninformed. Because number one, it's not going to have any effect. People who go to banking hall They are just an insignificant percentage of the banking transaction that goes on.
Yeah.
It's very, very insignificant. Even if you have a long queue in an ATM, where banking is really going on is in people's palms, is on people's tables, is on people's homes and people's offices. So to say you want to have a no banking day, and then it's not even well informed, because what the bank is charging, right, is legal. It's legal. The stamp duty is legal, and then it doesn't even belong to the bank. It belongs to the government. You know, so those are the kind of things for me that media has not shaped society in Nigeria, you know, and now that social media is here, it has really compounded it.
So I think we have things more in perspective now to explain the next question. If media it really hasn't shaped, you know, much in Nigeria, what kind of media then do we consume?
Well, it's obvious. Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, because I mean, I think that your assertion that media hasn't shaped us, it's hair splitting, really.
Yeah.
Because I'm now asking, so what is shaping us?
It is lack of it that's shaping us.
Oh.
Right. It is the dearth of information that's shaping us. We have been shaped in such a way that people don't fact check things. We are basically a rumor mongering kind of society. Yeah. We are a rumor mongering kind of society.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me about this government. What do you think they are doing wrong? Or what do you think they are not doing right? I said information management. Right?
There is no information.
That's the point. You know, so there is a whole lot of lack of information. You see, when you withdraw information, you release rumors.
Yeah.
You release rumors.
When things are opaque.
So, and then we have not been
like,
shaped. We have not been taught, educated to do fact checking. So people just say, they say. And then, you know, for many years, since I was a teenager in this country, you've always had, I was quoted out of context. You know, so we don't have a media that investigates and give, you know, the society something to think about. How many times have you seen the president, the governor give a speech and there are talking points on it, and people remind that same president what he said 5-10 years ago? So those are the kind of things that work in a society where information, where media is actually shaping. So that's why I said here we have not been shaped at all. We are just a rumor mongering kind of society.
But Dr. Reggie, what if you look at the entertainment world?
That was the way I wanted to answer your question when you asked me that what kind of media are we consuming? Okay. We are consuming entertainment that lacks direction. Because entertainment also, in a society where information is highly intentional. I gave an example a few weeks ago on this program that if you look at a movie such as Air Force One that was produced, acted by Harrison Ford, and it wasn't just for you to be entertained and to see good acting. It was to show the world how powerful America is.
Yeah.
It was to promote, it was to instill a sense of pride in an American and a sense of fear in other nations. You know, so that entertains you because they coined the word edutainment. You know, so it educates, it also entertains you. But you look at what we consume here, it's all, check all the media that people post on WhatsApp is mainly jokes, right? There is really no information that's been passed. What is the education content in the kind of things, course? Those are the kind of things that is shaping us, Matt. It's course. It's I like jokes. I like jokes that are very. In fact, there's one that I really like. The guy that acts is in Danny.
Yes.
Danny, very, very creative guy, funny, but what can I take from it? Good acting, good concept, good thinking. You know, it's not that every time he has to educate me or whatever. Even if you're going to entertain me, you know, give me something to think about, right? Let me see some creativity. You know, so but we lack that here. it's not really there. It's and people are what we consume. Look at our adverts. Adverts are even educative, but ours is. You put a dog on TV that the dog is a celebrity. I don't know what that is. We are not a dog society.
That's true.
That advert might work in America, right? What is percentage of our population that actually cherish dogs that much? Dogs are, so number one, that's not contextual.
Yeah.
It doesn't portray who we are, So a lot of things, those kind of things doesn't go through much thinking.
What about music?
Ooh, you know me, Matt, that I'm very interested in music, but good music. We don't have music in Nigeria, just noise. No, you see, it's because music also entertains, right? And music also educates. Growing up, when you listen to the kind of music that I would listen to down south, the Ebenezer Obey, Fela, and all those kind of things, I always tell musicians that I meet, your audience, how many of them have been able to pick your lifestyle? When you listen to Fela's music, after a while, you pick his lifestyle. Ebenezer Obey in Lagos had a territory in Ebutemeta. His spirit, his attitude rules in that territory. Yeah. In that territory is Miliki. Yeah. That's what they call it in Lagos. That territory, there is a lifestyle called Miliki. Right? So it's music is not just strings and drums and things like that. I mean, how many people listen to when you listen to Fela and you pick his lifestyle? You listen to Michael Jackson after a while, you begin to dress like him. It's not just sound that comes and goes. It builds culture.
Yeah, exactly. That was the next question I wanted to ask you about media and culture, Yeah. So culture being bigger than just what we know in terms of knowledge and stuff like that, but a lifestyle. I wanted to ask, about examples of where media has actually created culture, either positive or negative. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at, now if you say reggae music, what comes to mind? Jamaica, right? So that tells you, that's even a whole nation. That's a whole nation. Because music gives us language. In fact, art gives us language. To name is an art. We say there's a line in our jingle on this program. Fame, money, is that the only motivation for going into the art? For going into, once that is the motivation, this aspect of it, this education, this culture creating aspect of it is lost.
I tell you something. This is just my thought, but there was at the time in the US that the whole LGBT movement really started picking up steam at once. Was when they sort of linked it to racism.
Yeah.
When they linked it to racism. And that was probably when they also got religious organizations to keep quiet. And at the time that they made that link and it started growing strong, 2 movies were released that same year. One of them was Lincoln and the other one was 12 Years a Slave. Okay. Sorry, they were released 1 year in interval, but if you watch that movie, 12 Years a Slave,
to whatever
exactly,
is going on,
there was nothing in that movie that was going to give it an Oscar.
Yeah.
But they hyped the movie and promoted it and gave it an Oscar. Gave the that Kenyan girl an Oscar, right?
Yeah.
Made it, and then because they wanted to just show that connection.
They won't give somebody as popular as what's the name of this guy that acted in the Titanic? What's his name?
DiCaprio.
Yeah,
exactly.
Those kind of guys. I mean, I think he got his first one this year. So this is what we lack here. Number one, we are not intentional about what do we want to do with music. We don't want to put something out there. Like one of them said, I like to mention my name in my music so that I want to be popular. I want people to know me. That's what we consume. To come back to Matthew's question, that's what we consume. Ill-informed, unintentional, open-ended, shallow kind of music. Not well thought out. It's not meant to promote. In fact, it's promoting an agenda. Maybe it's not an agenda that is really created. It's promoting, mindlessness. People just talk. Because even when you look at the music of, I mentioned his name, Daddy Shoki, in those days, Daddy Shoki got the idea of his music from bus conductors. Yeah. All those kind of slangs. There were words that they used, that bus conductors use, on the street. And he had his own, kind of audience. He sort of give them, they know us too. So just kind of, that even works a bit. It works a bit to make some people feel, give them like, in the words of King said that it gives me a sense of somebodyness. So, but this bulk of what's there, really, to be, I might not know because I don't listen much to Nigerian music because I critique music and it doesn't really attract me much, the things I hear around here. I'm very sorry, and it's all it's also worse because I'm also aware of the deposit of talent, especially in the city where I live.
Yeah,
in Jos City, it's a hub of talents here, but people don't just know what they can use music to achieve. There is nothing you want to promote in life that you don't need music. You put on your system, music hits you. Somebody wants to campaign for election, he needs music. You want to sell soap, you need music. You want to do so. It's something that it's a potent weapon to shape. There are many things I want to say to you that it might not really catch your attention, but if I sing it, if I sing it, if the singer knows that. If the singer knows that, he will begin to do singing differently. Not just something there that is, because one thing again that has gone out of music here are lyrics. The lyrics are weak. And then growing up again, people like Obey, Sonny Ade, they release one album a year. One in a year. One album in a year. Christmas period. One. But now some people churn out, I don't know how many. You don't know how many movies come out in a month? And then you see one actor in about 10. I don't know when the guy reacts.
All right, Dr. Reju. Just hold that thought so that we can go on and listen to our sponsors. Guys, we have a lot of things to unpack. So let's just go and listen to our sponsors. We'll be back.
There are cooking oils and there are cooking oils, Of course. There are those that foam like soap when you put them on fire. And there are those that go to sleep after a few days. There are even those with funny odors that make neighbors wonder what's happening in your kitchen.
I beg, don't kill me,
But then again, there is Grand Pure Soya Oil, made from pure soya seed. Grand Pure Soya Oil is cholesterol-free, which makes it ideal for the heart and health conscious. It neither foams nor fumes, neither does it congeal even at low temperature. Grand Pure Soya Oil is also endorsed by the Nigerian Heart Foundation as heart-friendly oil.
Let me go and get my own Grand Pure Soya Oil, Joe. Oil that doesn't smell or sleep.
Grand Pure Soya Oil, a heart-friendly oil you've always known.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Answers with Dr. Reju. Please, if you would like to chat with us, go ahead using the number 081 44 56 9000. That's 081 44 56 9000. Chat with us on WhatsApp and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Also, to get on our website and download previous episodes of Answers with Dr. Reju, and the website is answerswithdrreju.com. That's answerswithdrreju.com. Isaac.
Well, Dr. Reju, you spoke so much regarding the media, as in the area of creating mindlessness in the citizenry.
Yeah.
Now my question is, what should be the buffer? Is it the weakness or the mindlessness? Is it as a result of our educational pursuit, or what do you think we should do? Is it the NCC now, or?
First of all, there is no vacuum. If you see vacuum, a particular aspect of society has become, docile. Maybe they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So the regulation is there, and we all know about it's weak. Maybe if you produce music, it has to be scrutinized by the appropriate, kind of bodies, and they classify it, I said it once on this program that most of movies on Nollywood, they are rated, not for kids, because of the language, because of the pictures, because of even the story and all those kind of things. So, but you see, those things don't work. They are weak. The regulations are weak. And then it goes back to what we spoke about, civic education. Society itself, the citizens themselves do not. Because there's no way you buy a DVD that you don't see the rating there. And then if you see that kind of program being aired, if you hear that kind of music being played on air, and you know that this is not supposed to be played, who says what? It goes back to the mindless kind of. So it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. But the point is, we're not helpless. We're not helpless. There is a home. Okay. I gave an example here maybe a few weeks ago about children's belt on TV. Those things are still there, but nobody obeys them, right? And if the relevant stations don't obey them, who mounts the pressure on them? I gave the example of CBB's kind of channel that by 7 o'clock in London it's off air, but here it's 24/7.
Oh yeah,
it's 24/7 here. So there are some adverts that you don't air before 7. You only air the advert. I remember growing up, you only air the advert of alcohol after 7, when kids will have gone to bed. Yeah. So, but all those things are no longer there. But where are they being taught? How did we get there then? And then how did we depart?
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things. But I believe that those things start from the home. Because where do we really consume these things much? The last time we had those teenagers here, they were telling us that people take away, they don't ask them to watch this. And now we consume this thing because we couldn't nip it in the bud from the home. You can watch all these things now, on your telephone, and all those kind of things. So it's really, you see, media will always give you an option, right? It will always give you an option, even if it's a mindless society, right? If you have trained the kids well from home, they will face that kind of the onslaught of information that promotes mindlessness. But you will have given them the juice, the necessary equipment to be able to discern and say, okay, I'm going to reject this and I'm going to accept this. So a properly groomed citizen is the one who is able to distinguish between what's wrong and what's right. Like I said, I don't listen to some kind of music. I won't buy it. You won't find it on my music library. It won't be there because I'm looking for meaning. I'm looking for something that will educate me, that will entertain me, that will give me a good orientation. If I read newspapers, I want to learn. After learning, I want to see the challenges around me. That's why I said I read it. I was a guy who worked with me some years ago, and he had challenges with English, with spoken English. I said, when you read newspapers, don't read the news. Go and read the articles. Go and read the articles. It will help the way you speak. Now, because people speak bad English today, because of the culture of abbreviation, the culture of slang, and all those. Yeah, you see, these things weaken society. They make us so lifeless. We don't have that power to scrutinize. The government will come and they will say some things. We can't ask intelligent questions. We can't probe. Why? We don't even have a media that does investigative journalism. So it's really, it's a vicious circle. And we're just contributing our own little bit through this program to say that a society can't journey far the way we are. Something profound. Somebody might hear this program and say, maybe this is too academic. You see, Americans are worried about the way their campaign, the current campaign, is going. Because it's now, we don't even do that here. People don't abuse themselves the way they do now, even in the very center of the base of democracy. So there's a problem, and it's global. It is global. It's not just unique to us.
A lot of artists will argue that the kind of music they produce now is based on popular demand. this is what our people want to hear. They want something that will
that
lift
takes me
them
back
up.
to what Obi said, right? People don't determine the music, right? The music shapes the people. An artist does not look for an artist as what it sought, creates culture. He doesn't promote what's already there. Artists give you language. Artists give you fashion statement. Artists teach you how to walk, right? They are the one who tell you what to say. So it's not, when an artist says that, that tells me straight away that this is not an artist, right? Because artistry has the element of creativity. To create means it was never there. So it's not what they want. You want to tell them what they should want.
Say it again.
You want to tell them what they need.
Yeah.
It's not what you see, when you do that. You see, I am a music critic, and when we listen to music, when we sit down to critique music, or we watch an artist play, right? And the artist plays, and he will tell you, but by the time he finishes playing, he said, "This music, this album is in the store." You know that guy is out to sell music. You know that guy is not a musician. But if the guy tells you the story behind the music, I wrote this song for my daughter. I wrote this song for a friend of mine who was struggling with some things. I wrote this, that's when you know. Ask most of these artists the story behind their song. They don't have. That's why it's lifeless. Right? You just say Yahoo, hey, Yahoo, hey. I mean, it's just that guy. Okay, it promotes a lot of lack of intelligence. People don't think any longer, right? It's worrisome for me because we need mind revolution in Nigeria. We don't have sound minds any longer. The people who shape us now are people who don't have depth. We just spoke about adverts. It's horrible. They are not well thought out. They don't educate. They don't add anything. It lacks profundity.
And with that, we say thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Reju. You've always been awesome. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Isaac. It's been wonderful having you guys in the studio. Please chat us up on WhatsApp with 081 44 56 9000. We'd also like to see your comments on Facebook. That's Answers with Dr. Reju. Facebook, just look for Answers with Dr. Reju. Till 4:30 next Friday. Thank you and have a nice evening.